pro-life is stupid. I'm talking today how and why pro-life is just stupid, and how without the basis of religion, there's basically no good reasons behind that stance. As well as trying to kind of refute a few points for why people, non-religious reasons for why people said that abortion should not be allowed. First of all, besides religion, there's really nothing. All of them basically boil down to religious values, saying like gives all these children. God created us all in His image, so you cannot take a life because of that. It's a religious reason. Not everyone believes in religion. I don't believe in religion, as well as the fact that this debate has a lot of division in the country. Historically, it's been used very negatively. Roe v. Wade is what really split off our nation. It's the trial that caused religion and politics to become so entwined and so entrenched with each other. It made it a moral issue. It made it say, if you are a Christian, you must be a conservative because conservatives are anti-abortion. It forced this. Reagan and the others forced this to happen. This is why. This is where it came from initially. This is where it really got pushed, at least. It's from them. So on the topic of conservatives are all about saying, oh, protect our rights. States' rights, people's rights. Here you try to take away people's rights. You're trying to take away people's right to choose. And you could say, oh, well, they made a bad decision. Everyone makes bad decisions. We were all teenagers at one point. We all likely had unprotected sex because we were dumbasses. You were too, likely, when you were my age or younger. Should these people now be punished for the rest of their lives? No. They made a mistake. They can move on from it. They can reconcile with it and move on with their life without not only ruining their own lives, their parents' lives, their families' lives, and that child's life as well, likely. Because statistically, they won't be born into the best circumstance. There's almost this idea, I like to call it, take a life, save a life. What it basically means is that if you get an abortion, especially the people who would get abortions are low income, by taking that life in the past, you're saving one in the future. That's why when Roe v. Wade was passed, about 20 years later, the crime rate dropped dramatically, and no one knew why. Until someone looked at Roe v. Wade and saw, hey, lots of these kids that would have been criminals were never born. So by taking a life in the past, you essentially saved a life in the future. If it's all about saving a life, what's more important? Saving a life that hasn't even really lived, or saving a life that has lived and could continue to live? Taking a life that hasn't really started yet. A case I saw for abortion that I still don't think is really that good of an argument is scientifically it's a life. That's great, but I don't care personally. I don't think that's really relevant. It doesn't really matter. I care about it morally, sociologically, and just in the general sphere of life. It doesn't really matter if scientifically. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really hold up to any scrutiny. As well as something that is going to sound very strange, but why is murder bad? Really try to answer that question. Besides just saying it's bad or because we're creating God's image. Try and answer that question. Why is murder bad? I tried to answer that question and I came to the same conclusion I've had for many years. It's because of the good you're taking away. Because a human can not only create a lot of good in the world, but also, most importantly, the good, it would negatively affect all the people around you. It's such a big ripple effect. You would cause so much harm for those around you. But a life that hasn't really started will not start nearly as much damage as one that has actually started yet. It's like I said, take a life now to save a life later. You're taking a life in a smaller dose in a way, to save one in a much bigger way, to save the heartbreak, the heartache of much more people later on. Another argument aside is it's not real feminism. In the real feminism, these women wouldn't even have to do it. I could agree, but the thing is that's a much bigger issue. There's much bigger things at play. This one is a thing that you can kind of solve on its own. and can individually give women more rights by saying you don't have to have this baby if you don't want to, if it would ruin your life. They also gave, like, on that site, the most of the reasons for abortions. Most of them are essentially, if you remove the specific words, if I have this baby, it will ruin my life, the life of the people around me, and the baby's life. It'll just completely destroy everything. That's why they have to do it. It's not an easy thing. There's random TikToks of people saying, I get to kill another baby. That's very rare. Very few people actually. Some people are just crazy. Some people are just crazy and are gonna think like this. It's very few that we should not conflate this one example to mean everyone. We should not. That's simply very naive and stupid to think like that. You have to know that's not how people actually think, because that's not. I think I've given a good case for why pro-life is stupid and just why we shouldn't. We should allow women to have the choices over their own bodies. It's their own body. It's their burden to carry. My stance on abortion is that I'm a man, so since I can't make one, I have no right to tell women when and where to create one. It's up to women. It is not my choice because I cannot do it. I cannot physically do it, so that's my stance. I believe it's the woman's choice, and fully. Like, for example, if you're in a relationship, I think the woman should at least listen to the guy and get his perspective and get what he thinks. But at the end of the day, it is fully 100% her choice. 100% her choice. I think she should at least listen to him, though. Because now, I think that'd be at least a little shitty to just, like, completely ignore him. But he does not get the last say in it at all. He does not have to carry it for 9 months. He does not have to deal with the pain that it causes. He does not have to deal with actually giving birth. Allow women to have rights over their own bodies. We need to be better.